What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the JDS Outdoors. Today's video we're going to be making a poor man's bait cooler. To keep your bait fresh and alive for longer, it is going to very poorly mimic the Engel bait cooler that I have in front of me. The purpose of today's video is to make one that is just about as cool as this, serves the same purpose, yet it does not follow the price guidelines because the price of this thing isn't so cool. This is the larger one, the 19 quart, and it is somewhere around 80 to 90 bucks just to buy this cooler. There's a smaller one. I'm not exactly sure of the size, but that one itself is also somewhere around 60 to 70 bucks. Today's video we're going to try and make one that is around 20 bucks. And it'll serve the same purpose. But what this cooler is it exactly what it says. Holds bait. It's got a pretty nice basket in here to keep your hands dry. We're not going to make that because it doesn't hurt to get your hands wet for a second. On the side here, it's got a battery operated pump to pump air and aerate the water, keep your bait alive longer. It's got a pretty nice lid that secures down. We're also not going to copy that part, but we're going to have a nice lid. And it's got a nice carrying strap, so you can wear it like a man purse if you wish. Take it to the mall, get a nice hot date, whatever you wish, or go catch fish. So, what we need to make, or what we need to get, as far as a parts list, is we're going to start off with your typical lunch cooler. This one is called a zipperless cooler made by Arctic Zone. I picked it up at my local Walmart for 10 bucks. And the reason I went with this one is because it's got a hard plastic lid on top that fits pretty snugly inside the inner plastic lid. And that's going to help keep water from sloshing about too much, at least leaking outside of the container. I also went and picked up a bubble box. This bubble box was like $7 at my local Walmart, and it runs off of 1 or 2 D-cell batteries. Now what that means is that this thing is supposed to take 3 volts, because it doesn't matter if it's a AAA, a AA, a C, or a D. A single battery is 1.5 volts. So if you take 2 of them, you're at 3 volts. I am curious to see what happens when you hook this up to 6 volts. The reason for that is because I picked up a 6-volt game camera rechargeable sealed lead acid battery. I like the rechargeable aspect of it because it's cheaper in the long run than replacing D batteries, and this should provide ample run time if this works. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to get a voltage step-down converter that goes from 6 volts to 3 volts off of Amazon, and then buy another one if this gets fried up. But that's not a big deal. I bought backup just in case, so I can use it while I wait for my other parts, and if that happens, I'll have to make another video to show how to set all that up. But anyways, this is the same setup. It just runs off of 1 or 2 AA batteries, and these little pumps are great to have around. Also picked up a fish tank stone. We're going to mount that in the bottom. Now, without further ado, we're going to get this set up and see if we can hook it up to 6 volt and see what happens. Alright, so here, for safety's sake, I have an inline fuse that I'm going to hook up to this just to make sure that we protect the battery. We don't care if this fries. Hopefully it works, but we'll see. So we open up the box. On this side here we have our negative. This side here we have our positive. I also have a short jumper cable that I made. And we are going to see what happens. So let's pry this open and get this hooked up and ready to flip the switch. Alright, so here I have the negative hooked up and the positive hooked up, running through the fuse. we're going to just touch it to the battery just to make sure that everything's alright before we clip it on. Alright, nothing happened, so we're going to clip it on. Get ready to flip the switch here and see what happens. Well, it's running so far. Running quite fast, putting out a lot of air. Let that sit and run for a second and see if anything exciting happens. Alright, that was just running for a couple minutes there, and the motor doesn't seem to be getting hot. The only thing I can see is that, or hear, is that it's super loud. So this will work. However, I think we're going to go ahead and order that voltage step down off of Amazon and install that when it arrives. But in the meantime, for proof of concept, we're going to run it this way and build the poor man's bait cooler. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 5-inch fish tank stone here and add some 3M double-sided sticky tape to the bottom. And we're going to take the backing off and nice and firmly place it in a clean bottom of the of our new bait tank here. I also added the hose to it that came with the aerator right off the bat because it's just easier to do now than it will be to do. And we're going to place it in the back and push it down real nice. Next step, we're going to take a drill bit that is just about the same size as the hose here, and we're going to drill a hole in the side of the cooler here, probably over in this corner, but you want to make sure it's lower than this point in the lid, otherwise the lid's going to catch on it. It's not going to seat right. It's going to be all kinds of goofy. So we're going to go ahead and drill that hole. So we went ahead, got our hole drilled. We're going to fish the tube right through the side, making sure it doesn't kink. You don't want to pull too hard on it, just enough to get it outside of the cooler. Now we're going to push this back in to its sheath here. Make sure the lid still closes nice. Oh yeah. And in the meantime, while we wait for our parts for the big bubble box and the 6-volt battery, so we can make this thing have a super long run time, be rechargeable for many years to come, we're going to go the cheap route and complete this box with our $4 baby bubbles. So if we were to build this system just off of the $4 baby bubbles here, running off of 2 AA batteries and the 5-inch fish tank aerator stone, we'll have a grand total of $2 stone, $4, $16, including the cooler. Can't really shake a stick at that. That's it's pretty tough to beat. So we're going to put our batteries in, flip the switch. It's way cooler, or way softer, not as loud now. We're going to hook it up, and there's a nice little pouch on the side here. I'm going to throw our baby bubbles in there, tuck in the excess. Oh, we got this all sorts of wrapped up funny. Can edit that out. There we go. Tuck in the excess hose out of the way, and now we have a portable $16 knockoff Engel bait cooler. Let's go grab some water and see how this thing looks. Alright, so here we have it about half full of water with our baby bubbles in it and our 5-inch strip. Flip the flip the switch and it's nice and quiet. There's plenty of aeration. I mean, the lid closes. You can slosh it around a little bit. It's not going to make a huge mess. I wouldn't tip it upside down, but I mean, for $16 to keep your bait alive, it's you can't really ask much more than that. If you want to go one step further, you can run a bead of silicone or something along this edge to help seal it a little bit better. But this will help keep your minnows alive a lot longer for all you ice fishermen and your kayak guys. You're not going to be throwing, you know, trout and stuff in here, but keeping your shrimp and your fatheads and your minnows and all that fun stuff alive for a while. This will work great. $16 bait cooler. Keep an eye out for the update video when we upgrade it to the bigger box and the rechargeable 6-volt battery. I will be making that as soon as the parts arrive. So, as always, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. Yeah, that's it. Talk to you later, guys.